Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeanmonod, Regional VP of Sales here at Angel Oak Mortgage Solutions. We'll let everyone get settled in here. We'll get started in about a minute and a half just to go over some things. Today is a deep dive into our bank statement program. Hopefully by the end of the day today, you're going to know as much as our two subject matter experts do. And we're also going to give you some tips and tricks on not only how to price loans, but also how to market yourself to self-employed borrowers. So we'll get started here. Like I said, in about another minute, we'll give people a chance to log in. This is a very interactive call we're going to have here today. Please use that question box. And if we don't get to your questions, we will definitely have your AE reach out to you no later than tomorrow. This is being recorded. So for anyone who registered, who's on here, we will get a copy of that out to you before end of day tomorrow. So look forward to a great webinar and hopefully helping you grow your business in 2023. Give it about another 30 seconds. A lot of people still logging in. This is great. You know, we know the end of last year was a challenging year. You know, the headwinds are still there for 2023. So hopefully what you take away today is really how you can gain market share in your market. So we'll get started here. Give it another 15 seconds. Great. All right. Again, my name is Jeanmonod, Regional VP of Sales here at Angel Oak Mortgage Solutions. I've been with Angel Oak for almost 9 years now, and looking forward to having a very, very successful 2023. But before that, we're going to have a very successful webinar. I want to introduce our two subject matter experts today. Kim Gilder, please say hello and give us a little bit of background, Kim.
Hi, I'm Kim Gilder. I handle the Virginia area for Angel Oak. I've been here for about 2.5 years, 30 years in the mortgage industry, so I've seen it all and heard it all.
That's great. Thanks, Kim. And then I have the pleasure to work with Gerry Calderon every day. So Gerry, please introduce yourself.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gerry Calderon. I'm from the Tampa Bay area. I serve as the St. Pete, Clearwater, Tampa Bay area. I've been with Angel Oak with the company now going on 6.5 years. Been in the industry for a little over 16 years now, and most of that time was spent in the non-QM space.
Right. Thank you, Gerry. Thank you, Kim. Well, we're going to get started here, but before we go into highlights of our bank statement program, we're going to launch a poll here. And the question is, who has originated, let me move a few things here on my screen, who has originated a bank statement loan in the last 12 months? So while you're responding to that poll, and we appreciate your participation, I just want to throw out some statistics here. In 2020, new business applications grew over 2019 by over 24%. That was the largest increase in new business applications in over 10 years. In 2021, new business applications grew over 2020 by over 22%. And in 2022, new business applications have remained flat with 2021. So we've had this huge increase in self-employed borrowers over the last 2.5 to 3 years. So that's why you're on this call. That's why we're going to teach you everything you need to know about self-employed borrowers and the bank statement. So wow, 71, I don't know, can you see the results there, Gerry or Kim?
Yes.
71%
okay.
says no.
Yeah. Thank you, Gerry. 71% of you have not originated a bank statement loan in the last 12 months. So this is a huge opportunity for everyone on this call, and it's a huge opportunity for Kim and Gerry to educate our group here today. So thank you for participating in the poll. So Kim, we're going to give you a kickoff. Kim, give us some highlights of our bank statement program.
Hi, everybody. So on our, first of all, Angel Oak loves self-employed borrowers. That should mean something to you because working in the agency world, a lot of lenders don't. You will never see tax returns, 4506, nothing. It's actually a lot easier sometimes than doing an agency loan for a self-employed borrower. So the highlights of the program is We go from a $150 to a $3 million loan amount. The key is the borrower has to be self-employed for a minimum of 2 years. We can use either 12 or 24-month personal or business bank statements. We have both 30-year rates and 40-year interest only. We actually can go down as little as 50% for business bank statements for the percentage of ownership of the business. We can use personal for down as low as 25%. What's great about the bank statement program, we can do this for purchase, refinance, cash out, we also do owner-occupied, second home, and non-owner occupied. On the second home and non-owner occupied, under this program, we actually can go up to 85%. That is huge. You're going to see a big benefit over agency in that bucket. So, always reach out to us when you're in a situation like this, because there's a lot of times that we're actually positioned a little bit better. Again, we do have a 40-year interest only. On the bank statement program, generally we use a 50% expense factor. Again, we use a verification of employment, which is a CPA letter simply stating borrower's own business for 2 years or greater and the percentage of business that they own. And again, any loan amount over 1.5 requires a second appraisal. But one thing I wanted to talk about is under the bank statement program, we do allow a non-warrantable condo. So please keep that in mind as well for your investor, your purchaser. We can really help out with that. I forgot the big one. We start as low as a 660 credit score and go up to a 90 LTV.
Yeah, Kim, thank you for doing that. Just Kim, also, I want to touch, we do have a business bank statement elite program. Kind of just go into a little bit on that. We're not going to dive into too much of that today. We're going to talk more about the nuts and bolts and the largest percentage of our business in bank statements. So.
Yeah, we did bring out a bank statement elite program. It's really set up for your better qualified borrowers, higher score, and ADLTVs or less is really where you're going to see the difference in the rates.
Right. Thank you, Kim. So just again, a reminder, this is being recorded. We will get this out to you before end of day tomorrow, apologize. Use our question box. We'll get to all your questions. Hopefully, if not, your AE will get to you no later than tomorrow morning. So Gerry, and we're going to talk a little bit about, what a 1003 needs to look like, what we look for on that, and we're going to talk a little bit about trade lines and what we require from there. But before we get into the 1003 and the credit, Gerry, give us, we do part of underneath the scope of bank statements, we do a 1099 loan also. So Gerry, go over some of the highlights of our 1099 program, please.
Yeah, so the 1099 program is a great loan for that borrower that is self-employed, has been 1099 for a minimum of 2 years. We do go up to loans up to $3 million on that program. The minimum loan amount is $150 for the 1099 program. We don't require any tax returns whatsoever on the program. We just require the most recent 1 or 2 year 1099 plus the year-to-date bank statement from the borrower. Okay. This program is really good this time of the year just because we're in January, February month, so we don't have much as far as for the year-to-date bank statement. So we're really going to base the income off of the year 1099 or the 2 year 1099 that are provided. This is also a great program for your realtors. I know a bunch of you guys have a lot of realtor referral sources, and this is a great program for them that are 1099 from their current real estate companies. The 1099s must be from one single employer. Like I mentioned, the borrower has to work for that same employer for a minimum of 2 years. We can do this on owner-occupied, second homes, and non-owner occupied. So we can also do this on a non-occupied program. It can also be done as a purchase, cash out refi, or a rate and term. We can also do this. We do require a 24-month seasoning on any foreclosure, short sale of any sort. And we do have a 40-year interest-only option on the 1099 program, which is something that a lot of people like to take advantage of. Yeah,
thank you, Gerry. I appreciate that. And you said the big thing. This is the great time of year to do that 1099 borrower, right? So you're not having to really look into base statements. Jerry, while you're on a roll, why don't you go into what we look for on a 1003 and really kind of, you know, we have one of our AEs here in the company that says that the 1003 is really the DNA of your borrower. So Jerry, go into the highlights of a 1003 and what you like to see, and more importantly, what we might not like to see on there.
Well, the 1003, like you said, John, I mean, we need a complete 1003, okay? Just as you would do on any conventional loan or any traditional loan, we need a complete 1003, okay, with all of the borrower's information. Under the employment section, we require that the business information be provided 100% accurately, okay? So we want the name of the employer to match up just as it would on the bank statement, okay? We want the position and title listing them as the owner on there if that's the position and title for them. And then additionally, we want to make sure that we have the self-employment box checked on there to notify that they are self-employed. And we want to make sure that we have over 24 months of history showing on there for the amount of time that they've been self-employed. Now, the big thing on the bank statement loan that we do not require on the 1003 is we do not require any income on there. Reason being is we're going to do that income calculation for you. So in the event that you have income on there and it's less than our income calculation, obviously we have to go off of the lesser of the two. So if your company does, some companies do require you to put something on there, you can just put $1 or just a small loan, a small amount on there until we provide you with the bank statement worksheet income. Then you can update that, or even if you just leave the income on there blank, that's fine also. We don't require any income on the 1003. The rest of the 1003, like I said, you want to make sure that it's completely filled out. Everything else is the same as you would do with any other 1003.
Yeah, Jerry, great tip and trick too about the income. You know, that's critical. We're going to calculate that income for you. And as Kim mentioned earlier, you know, it's a lot easier sometimes than looking at tax returns. So, but we are going to get to a lot of your questions here. We've got a lot of questions coming in. Thank you. But before we do that, Kim's just going to go over some of the highlights of what we look for as far as trade lines and to qualify the borrower. So Kim, give us some information on what credit needs to look like.
Thank you. So on our credit for the bank statement program, we are looking for a minimum of 3 trade lines for 12 months or 2 trade lines for 24 months. We also have this 2-year seasoning for any bankruptcy, housing events such as foreclosure, forbearance, stuff like that. That's huge. 2 years wait period is nothing compared to Fannie Mae. So, you know, don't be afraid to, you know, reach out to us for that as well, because, you know, a lot of times it works better.
Yeah, thanks, Kim. And it really is. You know, I told people you could put, you know, 10 loan officers or processors in a room, and you're going to get 10 different calculations on what that tax return really looks like, right? And then, but what we're going to do is we're going to calculate that income for you up front. So Jerry, you talked a little bit, look, we're going to get to your questions right now, so thank you for being patient. Jerry, you talked about 1099, and you mentioned it, but I just want to make sure everyone's clear. How long do they have to be 1099 for? And while you're answering that question, same question came in for bank statements. How long do they have to be self-employed?
So the question to both is a minimum of 24 months. So it's got to be a 2-year history of self-employment for both the 1099 program and the bank statement program.
Yeah, so Brian, hopefully that answers your question there. Got a couple, Brian wants to know, what do you mean by, Kim, go back to maybe a little bit of the trade lines here. What do you mean by 2 trade lines for 24 months? Talk about activity and stuff like that, if you can clarify that for Brian. Brian's participating a lot. Thank you, Brian. Great questions.
Okay, so again, for the trade lines, we're looking for, example, the 2 trade lines for 24 months, open and active for 24 months. Did I answer that?
Yep, with activity in the last 12. So again, a lot of times there's another tip and trick. You know, if they have a car loan, right, that they just stopped paying, they didn't stop paying the car, they paid off that car loan, you know, 6 months ago and got a new car loan, you know, 5 months ago, we can usually tie those together as a valid trade line. And what's perfect is we have over 80, I think 80 account executives across the country. They are going to be your go-to person. They know the second, third, fourth, fifth question to ask to make this a valid deal. And guess what? If they don't know, we have a help desk that we go to that we want to make sure that we get you the correct answer. So great questions coming in. Gerry, what about, and I know the way you're going to answer me this, and I'll give you, what's the difference between 12 months and 24 months of bank statements?
Well, to be quite frank with you, the difference between the two, there isn't much of a difference between the 12 months and the 24 months. Like I mentioned earlier, you still have to have been self-employed for a minimum of 24 months. We can, however, calculate the income based off of the 12 or 24 month statements that are provided. In the event that you have declining income, for instance, over a 24 month period going into the 12 most recent months, and you have declining income, then you might just want to go to a 12-month bank statement at that point. But otherwise, there really isn't much of a difference between the two. If you're going to show more deposits, because we are going to total up the deposits. So if you're going to show more deposits over the 24 months, then you probably would want to go the 24 months route. That's really the biggest difference. We're still going to calculate the income exactly the same, whether it's 12 months or 24 months bank statements.
Yeah, Gerry, and this is where I'll do my public service announcement here. We used to say, hey, if it falls out on agency, send it to us with the bank statement. If you're a loan officer and you know you are going to meet with a self-employed borrower, why not go get their tax returns, right? And why not at the same time get their 24 months of bank statements? And then you can return to your referral source, your realtor, and say, hey, if they go with their tax returns, they can afford, $250,000. But if they go with using their bank statements and based on, the income that was calculated by Angel Oak, they might be able to afford a $500,000 to $750,000 home. So
absolutely, John. Can I give you an example of a loan I just closed in regards to that?
Why not?
Okay. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I literally just last month closed a loan for a landscaper. Okay. The landscaper was looking to purchase on the conventional route. He was looking to purchase at a $300,000 loan amount. Okay. He was providing tax returns for the conventional loan. Okay. And that's what he was qualified for. The broker additionally decided to take a look at the bank statement program with me. We priced him out as a bank statement loan. It was a little bit higher in the pricing that he was getting on the bank statement loan, but he was able to increase his buying power up to a $450,000 loan amount. So we all know in this industry, we are paid on volume, and the higher loan amounts is something that we truly like. So you have a satisfied borrower who's able to get in more homes, especially in this market when $300,000 doesn't buy you a whole lot of homes. He was able to get a $450,000 home now, and you have commissions that are being paid to the realtor, the broker, and at a much higher loan amount. So you do increase your borrower's buying power by quite a significant amount based off of the bank statement programs and going the traditional route if you choose to do so.
Yeah, Gerry, that's a great example. And that happens every day. I'm sure Kim's got a bunch of those also. So it's just, what usually happens, Gerry, is they're already under contract. You got the tax returns. They don't qualify. Now everyone's in a rush. Do yourself, do your borrower, do your referral source a huge favor and get them both at the same time. It doesn't cost you anything to have those bank statements calculated with Angel Oak. So a couple other questions here. Brian is still active with some questions. Brian, even though we require either 12 or 24 months of bank statements, we still do require a 2-year history of that borrower being in that business. So we may be able to use 12 or 24, but we require a 24-month history. Now, there is a chance maybe if they're in business for 22 months, maybe there's a chance we can do it with a little bit of less, but we do require a 2-year history. So Kim, a couple other questions here. What if the borrower has W-2 income or the borrower's spouse is W-2'd with our self-employed borrower? How do we work with those types of borrowers, please?
Great question. We actually get this a lot, where you have a spouse that's W-2 and somebody who's self-employed. We can actually use both incomes. If you have a borrower who is self-employed and has a job, we can use both incomes. Again, no tax returns required, We look at 30-day pay stubs, W-2s for income only. I wanted to also talk a little bit about the bank statement program in terms of what Gerry said in qualifying people. A lot of times you'll have a self-employed borrower say, you know, I haven't filed my tax returns, or I filed my tax returns and I have a big, you know, payment that I have to make on my last year's taxes. We don't care. We never see a tax return.
Yeah, thank you, Kim. Appreciate that. Gerry, a couple of questions here. Do we only allow business bank statements? And, you know, I know the answer to that, but just explain what we can use as far as business and if personal.
Absolutely, John. Great question. Going back to just what Kim said, one additional thing I'd like to add is that we can also use Social Security income in additional with the self-employment income. We cannot gross up the Social Security income, but however, there's been many times where that Social Security income comes in handy, and we're also able to qualify the loan based off of the two incomes. But the biggest difference, business bank statements and personal bank statements, we're still going to total up the total deposits, okay? We're going to total up your deposits, and then we're going to take away, give you a haircut for whatever the expense ratio percentage is. The minimum is a 50% expense ratio that we start off with, okay? However, we can go up to a minimum of a 15% expense ratio, provided we get a third-party CPA letter or a tax preparer letter that lets us know what their true operating expenses are, okay? We all know most businesses do not operate at a 50% expense ratio. So we do see this a lot where they're providing us with a third-party CPA or tax preparer letter. They let us know that their expenses do not exceed, for instance, 20% of the gross revenue. In that scenario, we would be able to utilize 80% of the deposits in order to qualify the loan. The biggest difference between the personal bank statements, we're still going to total up all of the deposits, business-related deposits. However, we can actually utilize 100% of the deposits as long as they provide us with 2 months of the business bank statements. Obviously, that lets us know that they're running all of their expenses through the business, so we're not going to hit them for the expenses on the personal bank statement, and that enables us to utilize 100% of those deposits. So that comes in handy a lot of times when you have somebody that runs most of their deposits through their personal account, but additionally, they have a business account that they can provide 2 month statements. We're not looking for anything in those 2 month business statements. We just want to know that they actually have a business account set up, and that lets us know all of their expenses are being ran through that business.
Yeah, Gerry, thank you. Bethany, hopefully that answered your question. Yeah, definitely thank you, Gerry. Kim, what if a borrower has multiple bank statements or a couple businesses? How do we handle those? And you know, kind of give us an example, please.
Okay. I actually had this situation recently where a borrower had owned 2 different businesses. We can actually use 2 separate businesses' bank statements for income. However, it's a slippery slope. If the borrower is transferring funds back and forth between their businesses, we can't do that. Generally what happens is when I get the 2 bank statements in, if they're depositing into their personal account from both businesses, and I can use 100% of that income, that generally tends to be the best route to go. Another example is I received 2 business bank statements. One, I could see a lot more income going through. I only used that one business to qualify and didn't even bother with the second business. So your account executive, when we're kind of talking through this and what their situation is, we're going to be asking those questions, and we're going to be looking at those bank statements when we get them to figure out the best way that we can qualify your borrower.
Yeah, and that's key, Kim, and Gerry's talked about it, and you guys have answered a lot of questions from a lot of people here regarding personal and business and multiple businesses. Guys, the account executives here at Angel Oak are all seasons, and obviously you can see with Gerry and Kim, by the way they're answering a lot of these questions. You know, they will work hard with you to try to get the best deal possible for you, your borrower, and your referral source. So if that means looking at a couple extra bank statements to see which income's coming in higher, they're going to do that. That's what makes, you know, Angel Oak different from everyone else, is the account executives. I promise you, working with these guys is the strategic difference in growing your non-QM business. I can promise you that. Couple other questions here, Gerry. We've got, what proof of self-employment do we like to look at if we can't go to a state, whatever it is, the state level? So what are we looking for proof of self-employment, Gerry?
Yeah, that's another great question, John. So for proof of self-employment, the easiest way that we can get that verified is through a third-party CPA letter. Okay, the third-party CPA letter is going to provide us with the amount of time that they've been self-employed. So they'll let us know that they've been self-employed for a minimum of 24 months. Like I said earlier, if they want to include in there the percentage of expenses, they're also able to do so. So we can use a lesser expense ratio and qualify them with more income. We can do so. But the CPA letter is going to be the best way. Most businesses have a CPA, so that shouldn't be anything difficult to obtain. Now, if we are able to see that they have some sort of a licensing of some sort, then we are able to utilize that. For instance, a realtor with a real estate license or somebody that has any sort of licensing, we can utilize that. But the CPA letter is going to be the best way for us to identify that they have been self-employed. They have been for a minimum of 24 months.
Yeah, thanks, Gerry. Appreciate that. Couple other questions here. Kim, what LTV will we go up to on bank statements? I know we talked a lot about details of scenarios. Kind of, if you don't mind, and we've had a lot of enhancements over the last week and a half. So, Kim, if you have to pull out your matrix, feel free. So, give us, what's the credit score required for a 90, and kind of go down the ladder if you don't mind, Kim.
So we go up to a 90 LTV on the bank statement program. Keep in mind that we do not have mortgage insurance on anything. So when you're looking at that 90 LTV, we're not factoring in mortgage insurance for the qualification. And I'm going to hopefully do this off the top of my head because I don't have my matrix in front of me. So we require a 720 score to go to 90, 700 to 85, 680 to 80, and 660 is 75. Did I nail it?
Sounds like you did. I apologize. Trust and verify, yeah.
Yes.
Great job, Kim. A couple other good questions coming in here. Rental income, we're talking. Hey, Gerry, so the CPA letter, is a licensed tax preparer acceptable?
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't verify anything with the CPA or tax preparer. We just need to verify that they do exist. Okay. Obviously, we need to be able to look up that they do exist and they have a tax preparer ID number, and we're good to go.
Yeah. Someone asked, so if I could bring so this is being recorded. So a couple of things. Everything we're doing today is off of our website. These are not slides. So everything is live on our website. We're going to use a couple other tools on our website to show you where you can get pricing and also how you can market yourself. But again, this is being recorded. If we don't get to a lot of these great questions, your account executive will reach out to you as soon as possible to answer your questions. So hopefully, Sherry, that answers a couple of questions. I brought back up the bank statement. It is more popular than the 1099. So I'll leave this up here until we get to some other parts of our website for you. Hey, I know we're talking a lot about, calculating income, 1003s, credit. Kim, great question here. We do a pre-qual up front. Will we do it on a TBD?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, was that a question?
Yeah, it's a question. Someone, because, everyone says, do I have to have an address? We talk about being really detailed on the 1003. So one of the questions in here, will we do a pre-qualification on a TBD?
Absolutely. Again, we want to have your borrower to have the best ability to go out and compete in some areas that is a competitive market. So when we're doing these TBDs, again, as an account executive, we're kind of looking at the whole picture. We will do a pre-qualification, not only what you're asking for, but a lot of times we'll say, just so you know, there's a lot of room in the debt to income ratio. So if they wanted to go higher, maybe up to X, it will still work, and it will help your borrower and your realtor really aggressively go out and look for properties.
Yeah, I think one of the things, we have a team of experts that calculates that income for us at the pre-qual stage. And we're not waiting for the file to come in to be underwritten to get that income. That income is the income that's going to be used from the pre-qual all the way through underwriting. And we're getting that done up front. And if there's any questions about a deposit, we're doing that up front. So Gerry, how long does it take to get a pre-qual for a bank statement borrower?
So the bank statement worksheet will come out within a 24-hour period. So you will know exactly what your borrower's qualifying income is with no less than 24 hours. One thing I'd like to also add for those that live in areas where there's a lot of new construction going on, you can get the bank statement worksheet calculation with an actual pre-approval from your account executive that you can take back to that builder for the pre-approval that's been done up front by your account executive. One of the things about Angel Oak is our pre-quals are 100% accurate. We take pride in the pre-quals that we do and how we do them. And we do not issue a pre-qual unless we're 100% certain that this borrower qualifies for everything that's on that pre-approval.
Well said, Gerry. Very well said. Our reputation and your referral sources rely on that. If Kim or Gerry or any other account executive across the country isn't 100% positive about that, we have a help desk. Yes, it might take a little longer to get that result back to you, but you can feel pretty confident that once we've looked at that, that's what's going to be used in underwriting, and that's going to follow that pre-approval with that sign off by, say, our help desk is going to follow that file all the way through underwriting and into closing. So, one of the things we take really a lot of pride on is our pull-through. And, both Gerry and Kim have high pull-throughs. I mean, like Gerry said, you can feel confident when you're out there shopping that file and that income is what we're going to use through the entire process. So, Kim, I think did you want to share something else, Kim?
No, I don't think so.
Good. All right, so a couple other questions. If we want to submit a TBD, what documents should we obtain besides the bank statements? Gerry, I'll let you take this. So they're asking if we're going to do a TBD, obviously, what do we need to do a pre-qual? Just remind people.
So what we'll need for a TBD is a complete 1003 once again. Obviously, we do not have a property address as of yet, but otherwise a complete 1003. And then we'll need the credit report and either the 12 months or 24 months bank statement. Again, we do that worksheet for you, that income qualification worksheet for you. So you don't have to worry about sitting there and trying to calculate the income or doing any of that part of it. It is fairly simple to do. Like I said, I've been with Angel Oak now for 6.5 years, and I remember having to calculate bank statement income for a long time. It was quite interesting doing so, but let's just put it this way: I didn't have the capacity to do as many pre-quals as I do now in doing so, but we handle that for you. So we just need the 1003, the credit report, and the 12 or 24 months bank statements, and let us figure out exactly what the income is.
Yeah, so there's a question here too. Kim, do we require all pages of the bank statements?
Yes, absolutely. Even if it's blank, just like any other lender, we want to see all pages of the bank statements.
Yeah, so thank you. Hopefully, I think that was Nicole that asked that question. So hopefully Nicole and Gerry, thank you from Bethany for answering that question with regards to TBD. So couple other last things. Kim, you mentioned earlier about the transactions, and so did Gerry, but talk a little bit about delayed financing. That's not as critical as it was, say, maybe 1.5 years ago, but it's still out there in some pockets of where across the country. So talk a little bit about delayed financing and how we can help loan officers save deals.
Okay. So yes, if you have a situation where you have a borrower because of timing or urgency went ahead and paid cash for their purchase, we can do delayed financing. Basically, within the first 6 months of the purchase, we go off the purchase price And there's no add-on for cash out. So that's huge for helping, whether it's their home or an investor looking to purchase another home under the bank statement program, get their asset back out, their money back out.
Yeah. Thank you, Kim. And that was huge. And, Gerry's still in that Tampa St. Pete. It's a real popular area, so don't just, hang your head that the borrower paid cash. That borrower probably wants that cash back, whether it's to put back in the stock market or replenish their 401k or whatever, or repay a family member that maybe provided that for them. So, think about things like that. So, Gerry, a couple other quick questions here. One, how long does it take to close a loan? Not just from pre-qual, but from the time it gets submitted. Give us some timelines, Gerry, on loans that you've actually closed, even just recently.
Yeah, so we average currently anywhere between 17 to 21 days from start to finish. I will say that my top accounts and my brokers that are extremely familiar with our system will close loans anywhere from 10 to 14 days. Yeah, 10 to 14 days. And it's really our system is very user friendly. It's really simple to navigate through. And as long as you're not just piecemealing the conditions, meaning we have to take a look at it, re-underwrite something 3 to 4 times, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to meet that 17 to 21 day period. The worksheet was already done with the income calculation, so the income calculation is already figured out. So it's 17 to 21 days that we average currently.
Hey, Gerry, how about a tip and trick for a self-employed borrower? What don't we want uploaded into the system at all?
Yes, absolutely. So we definitely don't want to see any tax returns in there. We don't want to see any sort of income documentation whatsoever in there. That's a big no-no for the bank statement loan, because we are solely basing the income off of the bank statements that are provided. You provide that in the pre-qual stage. Other than that, we do not want to see any sort of tax returns or income documentation at all.
Great, thank you, Gerry. Andy, we're going to show you here in a couple minutes a tool that you can get pricing on 24/7. So we'll show you that here. Jeff has a question here, Kim, and it's a really good question. Do we allow gift funds?
Yes, we do. So under the bank state, well, yes and no. For owner-occupied properties and second homes, we allow gift funds as long as the borrower has 5% of their own funds plus the 6 months reserves. On an investment property, we do not allow gift funds.
So you just answered a couple other questions there. Someone asked about reserves. So thank you, Kim. Appreciate that. So we're about 20 minutes to the top of the hour. We've got a couple other things we want to cover here. A lot of great questions. I promise you, we've had someone also work on some of the questions on the question board here. So thank you, Mo. But let's get to, we had a couple of questions here about rates. So Gerry, take me through. I'm going to go back to the home page here, Gerry, and we're going to go to a really, really quick tool that we have here, and we've had it for Gerry. I don't know, was it here when you started, Gerry? I think it's been here a long time.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So Gerry, take me through a pricing scenario. I just want everyone to know everything we're doing today is off of our website. Yes, this is being recorded. We will get this recorded out to you before end of day tomorrow. But we have a couple of ways we can get to the quick quote tool here. And as you can see, I'm using my mouse over this one. We'll go through here, Gerry. Kind of just walk me through how someone would do a quick quote here, Gerry.
So our non-QM quick quote is the best in the industry. I mean, one of the biggest reasons why I came to work for Angel Oak was because of non-QM quick quote. So it is very user friendly. I mean, my 7-year-old daughter can even figure it out. So all you have to do is go to our website, angeloakms.com. You do not need a user ID or password in order to get to the non-QM quick quote. You click on the non-QM quick quote. A lot of times you will also see the non-QM quick quote on the signature of your account executive. So it's good to also click on that, and it'll take you directly to here where we're at with John. Once you're in there, it's going to give you 2 channel types to be able to select. Okay, you can either select the wholesale channel or the broker channel. For most on here, it's going to be the broker channel that you're going to select on there. You're going to go through John, you want to put one through here, pricing wise? So we're going to go through, the first question is going to ask you is for the loan amount. You enter the loan amount. We're going to go, once we enter the loan amount in there, we're going to go through the borrower's credit score that you're going to provide on there. And then you're going to go from there, you're going to provide the LTV, the loan to value that you are looking for. If you don't know exactly what loan of value you're looking for, do not worry about that, because it will tell you what they can qualify for. The rest of the fields are pretty self-explanatory. You're going to click on, for the bank statements, you're either going to click on 12 months or 24 months bank statements. Whether it's going to be a personal bank statement or business bank statements, you would just provide that information as to which one you're going to utilize. Once you do that and you select your occupancy type, whether it's owner occupied, second home or investment, borrower type, you're going to select U.S. citizen. 30-day lock is the way I always tell my brokers to price out the loans. Escrow waiver, we do have, that's something we haven't touched on, but we do have the option to waive escrows on the bank statement program. If that's something that you're looking to do, you would select so on there. And then once you do all of the fields that you see on there, you're going to see below, it's going to give you the pricing for the bank statement program. Once you see the pricing, you're always going to select the par pricing. So the compensation where it's at par pricing is very simple. It's going to give you and show you the program, the LTV that you requested, the max LTV. So we requested in this particular instance was 80%. But however, like I said earlier, you can actually go to 90% LTV. All you would have to do is go back up top and change the field to 90% to get the pricing for that. Your rate on this particular scenario is 7.75. It's actually pricing our bank statement elite at the very top, but if you look down below, you're going to see the bank statement at 24 months seasoning for bankruptcy and 24 months seasoning for housing event. We do require 6 months seasoning on the bank 6 months reserves on the bank statement program. Keep in mind that is 6 months reserve on the subject property only. Okay, so that's 6 months reserves just on the subject property. Mm-hmm. Once you take a look at the pricing and you're here, you just simply click on the blue button in the far right where it says view rates. Like I said, just for the pre-qual purposes, you can just select your pricing. I would encourage you just to select it at the par pricing and then discuss with your account executive what your pricing may be for lender paid compensation for your company, or if you have any sort of restrictions, whether you can go borrower paid or lender paid. We do have the option here at Angel Oak to do both options, borrower paid or lender paid. So once you're in here, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry. Because there was a couple of questions. How do you get your pre-qual? And I think that's where you were going, right?
Yeah, I was going to take you to step 2 at this point. So yeah, so now that we've done so, we would just select the par pricing, as I said, which is the 7.75. That's our par pricing. Go ahead and select that for us, John, right there. And now we are on step 2 of the quick qual stage. Okay, so you got your pricing over on the non-QM quick quote. Now you go to the quick qual stage. At this point, you can upload your Mizmo 3.4 file. You do not have to do so, but you can upload your Mizmo 3.4 file, or you can just go down below and you can click on next. And once you do that, it's going to take you to the step 3 of the quick qual stage. This is the stage where you're going to enter all of your, first thing you're going to select is your account executive. More welcome to select myself for any of these loans if you'd like to. But then you're gonna put on there your company information. You're gonna put on there your personal information, and then the borrower's information. And then down below is where you're gonna upload the 1003. And then, like I said, it's gonna be a complete 1003 with the credit report. And then you're gonna upload the 12 or 24 month bank statement. There is a comment section there where you can actually. One thing and we haven't touched base on, I should state, is we do require a business questionnaire for the bank statement loan. So it is very, very helpful to have that up front. It's a very simple questionnaire that just asks some simple questions about the borrower's business, how long have they been self-employed, things of how many employees they have, things of that nature. It's just a very simple questionnaire that you can actually get from our website also. And it's good to have that up front when we review the file. Once you upload the credit report 1003 and the bank statement questionnaire, along with the 12 or 24-month bank statement, you can add any comments. So let's just for the sake of, you have 2 businesses that you want to calculate. So you could put on here in the comment section, calculating business for bank statement 6602, and also want income calculation for business bank statement 5508. Okay. Once your account executive receives this, then they're immediately going to see that we're trying to get income calculation for 2 different bank statements on here for 2 different businesses. So once you go ahead and you submit that, that goes to your account executive. Your account executive, within a 24-hour period, will be able to provide you with the pre-approval. Once they get the income calculation from the bank statement review team, they can issue the pre-qual, and at that point, you're ready to rock and roll, register the loan, request disclosures, and get your loan closed.
Yeah, Gerry, thank you for taking us through there. You know, there's a couple questions going on in this question box, and I think there's a gentleman on here who basically, whoever he was working with wasn't doing everything up front like we say we do here. So, and now he's caught in that income being challenged. And again, this is, you know, this is going to take 24 hours to get, you know, Gerry or Kim or any of our other great account executives across the country to look at a 1003, to look at a credit report, to look at that income. It's going to take 24 hours, but I'm promising you it will save you days, if not weeks, in the long run. And a lot of unfortunate conversations with people having this done up front, I can promise you is critical to your success and you doing non-QM loans. So thank you, Gerry. So a lot of questions here. How can I grow my business? I'm going to bring up a couple of, we touched on this here. I'm going to share, hold on. Let me know when you guys can see this PowerPoint here quickly. So Gerry, can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So before we get into our marketing portal, I just wanted to bring up this slide that we usually share with during a lot of other type of presentations. But, you know, one of the things, professional and business services, that's our top self-employed borrower that we do. Contractors are here. Realtors are our number 3. Almost 10% of the loans we close are actually for realtors. And then you can read through the rest of the industries that we kind of do as far as a percent of our total business. So start thinking outside the box. So these, who are bank statement borrowers? And then the other slide I really wanted to show everyone, where can you find these bank statement borrowers, right? Realtors, other large banks, CPAs, tax preparers. I'll bring out we have an AE here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He met with his accounting this past Tuesday, and he asked his accountant, do you know about bank statements and how we can qualify people versus their tax returns? CPA didn't know it. He didn't know it. And so the next question the account executive here asked was, well, do you think this would be beneficial to a lot of your clients? And he said, absolutely. So real life situation, all of you on this, we have an account executive out on the West Coast that says, where do you find these bank statement borrowers? Walk out your front door. You'll run into self-employed borrowers. So anyway, just wanted to share this with you. This will be part of the presentation that gets sent out to you. But it's critical you use this information to really grow your business. So Kim, I'm going to go back to you here because you're going to tell people how to grow their business. Let me make sure you guys can still see. Let me know if you guys can see the website screen now, Gerry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
So as Gerry mentioned, as we went through this quick quote, and how to get a quick qual to us, you don't need login credentials, right? So, but to access our portal, to get to, to submit a loan and to get access to marketing information, you are required to have login credentials, and you can get that from your account executive. So Kim, we've pumped you up here. Tell us some of the great marketing tools that we have available to everyone on this call, as long as they are an approved broker.
Yes, we have marketing flyers at your disposal that are set up with your company information, your information. You won't see Angel Oak anywhere. Basically, you're using our flyers to promote yourself. So for the bank statement program, basically everything that we just talked about is available in a flyer. So as you can see, you can put in your company logo, you can put in your photo, you can put in all of your information, print it out, save it on your desktop. So when you're talking to a realtor or a CPA, boom, attach it to your email, and it's telling them that you can do this kind of business. Once you have all of your information set up, you'll be able to go in and drop down and use all of our flyers. So if you wanted to do one, like John said, for a CPA, we have CPA driven flyers. If you wanted to do one for your realtors, because again, you know, our third highest borrower is our realtors, we have flyers directed towards realtors. So there's a lot of tools that will help you grow your business in our flyer selection.
Yeah, and Kim, the great thing about it is once they put in their information here, and if you said that, I'm sorry if I'm being redundant, it populates for all the other flyers. So it's really easy to use. And you know, what gets a little frustrating sometimes is, you know, people walk away from these thinking, oh, you know, I'll get to it tomorrow. I'm telling you, use it today. Kim, talk to us a little bit about some other information or some other tools that we have available to loan officers here. Sorry.
Okay, so we also have social media posts that you can use, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook. You can just drop in, choose whatever program you want to promote on your social website, and it's here. You don't have to recreate the wheel. It's really simple. It's going to have your information to bring that business in.
Yeah, so there's a good question here, Brian. Brian's been a lot of good questions. Yes, Brian, you can co-market those flyers with a realtor, and I suggest you do that. Co-market those with a realtor, right? You know, put your information and the realtor's information on that flyer. And if you are having difficulties with that, reach out to your account executive for some help on that. So great question, Brian. Thank you for bringing that up. I love these social media posts. They are already developed for you, whether you want to market towards borrowers or realtors, as Kim mentioned, right? So this is out here. If you want to do a bank statement post on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, or LinkedIn, the content is already developed. All you got to do is copy, paste, and upload. I mean, it's really, really simple. And a lot of people will walk away. 71% of you have not originated a bank statement loan in the last 12 months. This is a great way to get started. So, and then last but not least, Kim, let's talk a little bit about presentations that I know you do a lot of them. I know Gerry does a lot. All of our account executives across the country do. Talk a little bit about that realtor presentation, Kim.
The realtor presentation is very impactful to your realtors because they help sell you and they want to capture as many borrowers as possible right now. I actually did a joint realtor presentation on Tuesday morning. We had about 25 realtors in there, same questions you have, and they're just, you know, I think that I've already gotten a pre-qualification. It was a realtor buying an investment property. So, you know, it's like you're going to get business from these presentations because they've had somebody that, you know, either wasn't qualified or they couldn't do the loan, that they're going to call back and say, hey, by the way, I think I have a program that you can qualify now. So it's just a great way to help you capture more business with your realtor partners. And it's important that you're doing this because realtors are hungry for business right now. If you're not talking about everything that you can do, they're going to find somebody who can. So be in their face, talk about non-QM, talk about how aggressive you are and how you want to help them capture their business. They are going to love you.
Yeah, Kim, Very well said. I believe this is the most powerful presentation an LO can deliver. And guess what? You don't have to deliver it. You don't have to be a subject matter expert on this presentation. Kim, Jerry, any of our other account executives across the country will present on your behalf, whether it's Zoom, GoToMeeting, in person. They go in there, they don't say anything about Angel Oak. They're just, we have had Brian on this, ask a lot of questions, so I'm going to use Brian's name. Gerry goes in on Brian's behalf and talks about the programs to the group of realtors. Brian just has to introduce Gerry. He doesn't even say where he works. He just, and Gerry refers to Brian as, hey, we're just one of Brian's investors. And it's a powerful presentation. And I promise you, if you get at least 12 realtors in a room, you will get one of their loans, because they do almost 10% of the business on bank statements are done with realtors. And it is eye-opening. So 71% of you have not closed or originated a bank statement loan in the last 12 months. How many realtors do you know that don't even know about this program? A lot. I can tell you it's more than 70%. So anyway, Gerry, anything else to add regarding marketing? I know you're pretty active out there. Anything else to add?
Yeah, John. First and foremost, if Brian's looking for an account executive, make sure you pass along my information to him. But he's had some great questions, so I figured I would throw that out there. But I know, like Kim said, if you aren't utilizing these, then shame on you, because these presentations, we do them for you. All you have to do is bring the audience. We bring everything else, okay? And I'm just going to give you a quick example. I had one of my brokers that doesn't do a ton of non-QM, but enough non-QM to where I have a good relationship, and he's reached out to me and several times, and just recently I've been reaching out to him. I don't have much business. Things are slow. Let's put together a realtor presentation and see if we can drum up some business. Well, lo and behold, he's like, you know what, Gerry, I lost one of my top realtors. I lost them, and I haven't been getting much business. Well, that's strange. So let's put together the real estate presentation. We did the presentation. He invited his top realtor, who showed up. His top realtor was not sending him business, because she was sending business to another one of my brokers that was doing the non-QM deals with Angel Oak, and he just wasn't a qualified expert on non-QM, so he was passing them up. Guess what? They went somewhere else. Now those loans were still coming to Angel Oak because they were coming through one of my other brokers. But long story short, you have to take advantage of these things, especially in a challenging market that we're in right now. And Angel Oak does all the work for you. They have the most knowledgeable account executives in the area, and they're able to do this for you. So I would strongly encourage you to take a good look at utilizing these tools. Yeah,
great point, Gerry. These borrowers, these realtors, they're going to find people that are going to do these loans. And guess what? They're not only going to send that person their non-QM business, they're going to send them their conventional business too. So we've seen it happen. Kim has hundreds of examples of it. Gerry has lots of examples. They're examples we hear about all day. So don't miss this train. And it's not too late. It's not too late. Let me just kind of share a couple of statistics here. In 2021, there was over 4 trillion originations across the U.S. That dropped to, in 2022, that dropped to a little over 2.2 trillion. They're forecasting that to go down to just under 1.9 trillion in 2023. Same amount of loan officers out there, you're competing for a smaller piece of the pie. So why not jump in a pool that's fairly untapped with 71% of you on this call today? Why don't you look to grow your business or maintain your business using non-QM products, non-QM presentation, non-QM marketing? I'm telling you, it will help you grow your business in 2023 and beyond. Couple other things. We are doing another webinar next week on DSCR, same time, same time, same day of the week. It's what's today? Today's the 9th, so it's going to be the 16th, February 16th. We're going to do a DSCR, which is a debt service coverage ratio for your investors out there. We'll do it at 12 noon Central Standard Time. And there's a small survey at the end. We'd love to try to make things better every time we present to you. So if you could fill that out, take a few minutes. This is being recorded. We will get this out before end of day today. So before we sign off, Kim, anything you want to say in closing? Sorry, I rambled on there for a while.
Don't be afraid. Angel Oak makes it easy for you to do self-employed and 1099 borrowers. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call your AE. We're going to walk you through the process. 71% of you have not done it. It's when I tell you that once you learn the process, it's easier than doing an agency or an FHA loan. You're going to be surprised. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, thanks, Kim. Jerry, anything else in closing?
Oh, John, I think we covered a lot. One thing I will tell you guys is make sure to take advantage of the full menu that Angel Oak offers. Obviously, bank statements is one of our bread and butters, but we do offer quite a few variety of other programs that you will benefit from. You do have the most knowledgeable account executives in the industry. I'm very certain of this. That's why we have mentioned this several times. Not to mention, we are also exception driven in Angel Oak. So just because a loan doesn't fit within our guidelines, we have the ability to see if it's common sense and there's something that can be done as far as we have compensating factors and we're able to do the loan, we can do it. So sometimes just by not picking up the phone and reaching out to your account executive and seeing if you could possibly do this loan, you're going to lose on business. And like we said, if you do not do these loans, your next door neighbor is going to, they're going to take your referral partner, they're going to steal your realtor, and you're going to lose out on a lot of revenue that you could be benefiting from.
Yeah, Jerry, thank you. And you mentioned something that I usually mention, so thank you. 30% of the loans we close here at Angel Oak don't meet our guidelines, and it's because of people like Jerry, Kim, and our other account executives across the country that know how to get deals closed. So thank you for bringing that up. And Jerry, the full menu, you're right. So next week we've got our debt service coverage ratio webinar, and then the following week after that we're going to cover full doc, and we're probably going to tease a little bit into more on how to find these borrowers. So thank you for bringing that up too. So Kim, thank you for your time today. I really appreciate you taking the time. Jerry, thank you. For everyone on this call, hopefully you learned something today. Fill out that survey. If you've closed a loan with Angel Oak, thank you for your business. If we can help you close more loans in 2023, please reach out to us. We're anxious to help you get more business in 2023. So thank you everyone for participating today. And again, this will be emailed out to you before end of day tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Kim.
Bye.